right now.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. We're live. Today we're going live on a Saturday because, one, there's a lot of Saturday football coming at you in the NFL today and tomorrow and Monday. It's a full weekend, but there's a lot today. And we wanted to be able to sneak in a parlay today so you could join us. So be sure to literally hang on with us to the end of the episode. I'm stuck drinking an ice with Doug because we lost the last week. But we're going to redeem ourselves. I think we got a strong one coming your way. So, kicking off the episode, though, we could not be more excited because the Ohio State Buckeyes are marching to the championship against, I think, a manageable team. I cannot wait to fight this Irish team. I don't want to.
What's wrong with Irish? Got some beef with Irish? Huh?
They're red.
Oh, you know what? I can't wait to beat up on some Catholics, though.
Yeah.
Like that's why you come to this country, to beat up on Catholics.
No.
Oh, all right. Well, that's why you go to Ohio State, I guess.
Yes. Ohio State's excited. Okay, okay. This will change the momentum.
First Texas.
But Buckeyes are going to win it all.
Yeah. Probably
So-
not. Yeah.
You want to make a bet?
Oh, what do you want to make a bet on?
Loser
Loser does what?
streaks around Miami
Streets around Miami?
next weekend.
Done deal. All right.
Of course, all the comments were Ohio State fans are like, "Damn, now I got to root for Texas." But
Nah.
Guess
Not a
what?
shot.
guess what?
Orange down.
I know. Will's excited to fly on down to Miami to catch the naked lap by Sketch.
Get thrilled. About a first class. Be there. No. Horns down. That's all we care about.
That's right.
We don't even care about it. They're old news. We're on to new news.
Let's get to the real news.
Mhm.
One hell of a game.
Pressure off the 4th and 13. Jack Sawyer. Give me that. Strip set. Flop jack. He scoops. He runs.
That's insane.
That's right up there with Ezekiel Elliott going through the heart of Alabama.
Seriously.
Like, honestly. Like,
Seriously.
in terms of, like, legendary semifinal game in the last minutes, just to, like, the dagger.
Oh, that was the dagger.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's funny is I do want to have a dialogue about how this overshadows the touchdown going into the half. With like 50 seconds left, you are going into the half tied.
It was
Texas
even less,
scores.
honestly. It was like 30 seconds.
Well,
like hardly any time to score.
right. By the time they got the ball, you're looking at about 30 seconds. It was
Yeah.
like 36 seconds when they had the ball. To return with a touchdown, the next play,
On a screen.
talk about
Yeah.
momentum crushing.
Mhm.
And again, Howard, great job drawing back, pulling the whole defense
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
him.
honestly. Like,
was-
put it right on him, too.
Yes.
Like, I understand it's a screen, but all those guys in front of him, like, just kind of, like, dropped it over. He knew. He's like, just get him the ball, let him do what he can do.
Perfect execution.
Yeah.
So what's funny is this is the play that has all the attention. This is the big play of the season. But at the same time, there were a lot of great plays in this game
Mhm.
that I think just
This one
took
was
the
just so. When you think back to, this is a top 5 play in Buckeye history, personally.
oh, you're probably right.
Like, even over the screen. The screen was a great play. It was a great momentum, but that play was so, a defensive touchdown, a strip sack,
Against such a strong team.
Yeah,
and-
and Texas played a great game.
Great game.
Yeah.
Check out this view of the same play from Caleb Downs' perspective. Artistic.
What's cool about his story, too, is, like, transferring from Alabama. And it's like Alabama didn't even make the playoffs. Now you're playing for the national championship at Ohio State.
Yeah, how wild is that?
Yeah. Didn't even need to go crazy on it. Remember we got into a fight like 2 months ago for fighting Michigan? Who cares?
Well, so I love that
Pass
you
hack.
bring that up because that's a major point of contention that keeps being brought up. where do I have that? But first, just sticking with this. Yeah, I thought I had anyway. One of the plays that I had was that in contrast with this. And now you've got, of course, the Dave Portnoy and Michigan squad trolling the world. And I saw one of the Michigan coaches resurface the video of Sawyer freaking out with the flag planting and the comment being, oh, is it the block M that brings another that motivates and compels another championship back to the Big Ten? It's like you had nothing to do with this beyond the wake-up call.
How can I make this about me? Is what Dave Portnoy loves to do. And I like Dave Portnoy, but
this was Michigan staff coaching.
Oh, yes,
it's
true.
like I hope you love the front row seat. Get your popcorn. I hope your living room has been comfortable for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not even just that, but it's like, once again, yes, we did lose to Michigan. How do we respond? Tennessee, Oregon, Texas. Now we get Notre Dame.
Again.
Point at Notre Dame's college playoff schedule. Not tougher than ours.
No.
You know? Like, Ohio State, funny enough, if they do end up winning it all, I do think they will. They're a 9.5-point favorite at the moment. We could look at any other team and be like, not only did we win the first 12-team college football playoff championship, but we had the toughest journey to get there. Made it look pretty easy.
Yeah.
Say something. Go ahead. Michigan. We'll see you next year. All right. And you're
With
right.
the crown.
You have,
this time we'll have the crown.
Yeah. You have what? You beat us on a Saturday? Yeah. We won 4 more after that. Sorry. How was yours? Oh, you beat Alabama. Wait, they didn't make the playoffs either. Wait, you didn't make the playoffs either. All right.
Right.
Dave Portnoy. It's about me, though. It's about me. And that's good. And fine. And you know what? Good for them. Have your moment. Because we've had 3 ever since. And we're going to have 1 more.
And the moment's extended.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 weeks where guess what? No one's saying your name.
No.
Unless
you
they're
are
talking about us.
Yeah. You're saying your name a lot. Remember me? Remember me? Michigan up here, over here. Yeah. How much money are you spending this offseason to get your NI deal, boys? A lot of money. A lot of money. And Ohio State spent a lot of money too.
It shows.
At
Look at
least
that line.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about it. Will goes, the shortest guy on the line is 6'4".
He was like 6'4", 270. And I was like, we got short stuff out there. Short stacks. You know?
Those rocks.
We got
Those were boulders out there, man.
We got Tiny Tim next to the 6'5" guys.
That was wild. You know, even just like
the atmosphere too, not to cut you off, but like we were at Town Hall out in Ohio City. Great atmosphere. Great drinks, great food. Buckeyes fans showed out in the cold weather. It was like, you know, how it's been lately. It's been like, what, sub 20 degrees the whole time, even in the 10s. Showed out, stayed the whole game. Place went crazy for every score, every turnover, every big hit. It was a great atmosphere. It was a great time. And we get to wait, 10 days to see if we beat Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah. And again, we've shown how you can predict that to look. I mean, I want to give kudos to Judkins, number 1.
Oh, he had a great game.
Holy cow. I'm out here talking about linemen and they're blocking like a wall. This dude is cut blocking. He's downfield wrecking people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was a masterclass on how to run the ball and be a support staff.
He and Henderson are 2 very versatile backs. They both have their own. They kind of remind me of like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs for Detroit. It's like they both have their own identity in the offense and their own uses, and they both are utilized very well. Not only utilized very well, but they execute their on-play performance very well as well.
Oh, yeah. So, again, bringing it back to that big play with Sawyers, Quinn Ewers had a great response to the whole thing.
Did you not hear him, feel him? And when you saw that it was Jack who got you, do you have any sort of particular emotion about that, given how close you were to him?
Yeah, I felt him. I started drifting away. Thought I was going to be able to get the ball off before he got there. Obviously, it's not like I tried to give them the game, but, I saw Jack running with the ball down the sideline, and, It sucks, man. But he's a great player, great individual, great person. We, like you said, we were roommates when I was up at Ohio State. So, it sucks. It sucks, but Jack's a good player and he made a great play.
So what's the most interesting about this is, did you know they were roommates?
Yeah.
What a dynamic.
Full circle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's heartbreaking that's the symptom of competition.
Yeah, they're
But, like,
competitors.
one's going one way and the other's going the other.
But I mean, it's not like either of them would change a thing. Quinn
Well, of
Ewers
course,
wanted
I
to
don't
go.
mean it like that. I mean, like, one's going home
Yeah, but
and the other one stripped the championship right out of your hand.
I don't think Texas would have beat Notre Dame. Funny enough.
No, I agree. We kind of showed that.
It's not even we kind of showed that. I don't even think Ohio State played that good of a game.
Right.
I think Ohio State played like
We could have put more
a
points on the board.
C to B level, and I think Texas gave us their A, and we still handled them.
Totally.
But no, I mean, like, Quinn Ewers, great year. He's a good kid. He's a good quarterback. I don't know when he's going to get taken in the draft. I wouldn't be looking at him personally. There's something just missing, I guess, in his game. Doesn't throw a bad ball or anything like that. But for Sawyer, like I remember when we got him, he was supposed to be like Joey Bosa 2.0, and he never really has panned out that way. But it's like, at the end of the day, you will go down as top 5 play in Buckeye history.
Right.
It's a cool story. It's a really awesome to be a Buckeye fan right now.
Oh, what a fun momentum.
Mhm.
And to put a cap on it all, one of the Texas players, Ja'Day Burrows, has a great cap to the whole thing.
Proud of you. So thank you for coming.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Hook 'em.
I just want to say one thing. I mean, it's been amazing, just the opportunity. But at the end of the day, like, I just want everybody to know, like, usually sometimes you always don't come out on top. But like, we won. We truly know who our leader is, and that's God and Jesus Christ, and ultimately just having the ability to use the gift that He gave us to share it to the world. I mean, it's been amazing, and obviously amazing for me just growing up in Austin and having the opportunity. But everybody's not blessed to do the things we do, to be here. People dealing with fires and chaos in New Orleans. So just to have the opportunity to glorify God on the football field, it's truly been an honor. So I appreciate everybody.
Okay, Jolly. Thank you so much.
All right, love it. So let's put a wrap to this whole dialogue concerning the championship. All right, so I don't know what's in store for us next week. There's a potential that I will not be in town. So if I'm not in town, we'll either do the show early or we might not have a football episode next weekend. So this being the championship dialogue, who do you anticipate to win? We all have a clear bias. I don't think any of us are picking Notre Dame. Doug, are you? You're
No.
one of the stray cats here, so who knows?
Doug, you look pretty Catholic.
I'm going for Ohio State. I mean, I'm wearing my Ohio State gear, so definitely rooting for Ohio State.
All right.
No faux Catholic here. Definitely going with the Bucks.
Okay, so that being the clear sweep, no variation there. Let's see who can predict the closest to the score. The most accurate wins. I want to say the least accurate has to drink an ice. This opening the door to the potential to 2 ices needing to be drank that day. If you lose the parlay and you're the loser of the prediction, you might have to drink 2.
This is pretty bold by you because you've been on a pretty
Cold
deep
streak.
cold streak
I
with
got
the
3
ices,
losses.
baby.
This is going to be my 3rd in a row right
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. I think it'd make fun competition. So,
Closest to the correct score. All right. We got to write them down or something.
oh yeah, we're gonna. I got you. But I Ohio State.
So you've had more time to think about this too, Alex, than us.
What, just now? What are you talking about?
Did you literally
Doug,
just come up with this idea?
He's a special human.
Doug, and now maybe myself think you were in bed last night concocting this.
Oh,
thing.
definitely. I think there's some
Alexander has seen the script.
I make the script. You just have no idea when. And I'm telling you it was right now. So take it.
Okay, so what's your guess?
Well, I'm looking when we played him last time in 2023. It was 17-14. That's a low scoring game. Yesterday wasn't a very high scoring game, but I did think there was maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns left behind. So part of me is I don't know. I could see 24-10.
Conservative score. It's a good score. It's a
What
good
are you
score.
going to go with?
I was gonna go 31-14 Bucks.
31-14. That's a solid one. Actually, I'm going to do 17. Because I want to, they're getting 2 touchdowns.
Who?
Notre Dame. I'm still sticking
All
with
right.
the.
I don't know. Like we just have such a solid. Here's my thing. This
Wait,
is
you said 31-14.
31-14. My reasoning, and this is why I think I listened to Colin Cowherd's podcast when I got home last night afterwards. He talked about the game a little bit, the Texas Ohio State, and then he talked about a little bit going to Ohio State Notre Dame, and his talking point was simply Notre Dame can compete with Ohio State because Ohio State makes enough mistakes that they'll allow Notre Dame to stay in the game. But Ohio State has the edge in just about every category: playmaker, schemes, and coaching. That's essentially where he's like, they have them outmatched in every category. Ohio State can only lose if they beat themselves.
This is misery.
So that's
I
why
agree entirely.
That's why I think Ohio State will play a bit more of a polished game against
I can
Notre
agree.
Dame than they did against Texas.
I can agree
That's
entirely.
why I came to my conclusion.
So, what is at stake here?
Wait, Doug's
No, we're in there. What's at stake?
nice.
An ice
Mhm.
for the farthest from the actual score, predicting the score.
Is it just one of us or 2 of us?
What do you mean?
Like, would it like?
The
There's
farthest. So whoever does the worst. So I'm going to do like,
it's gonna be really fucked up when it's a 7-0 game.
however off you're up from the Ohio State score, however off you're from the Notre Dame score,
Mhm.
that gives you your total number. That whoever's is the greatest
Mhm.
is the loser. So Doug, I went with 24-17. Doug Will gives a good reasoning for 34-14.
Mm-mm.
I think
31-14.
30. Yeah, sorry,
I want to go
31-14.
27-16.
That's also a good score.
27-16.
Yes.
Touchdown and 3 field goals, or 2
Phew.
touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions.
Okay, Doug. Is that Will gave a sophisticated explanation. Do you have?
I think Ohio State will score. So I have to believe that Notre Dame will put up a little more of a fight than we left some stuff on the board last night, but this is the championship game. Notre Dame did fight their way to get there while we talked about the strength and all that. But I do think that's going to be a little bit of a closer game. I think Ohio State will score a little bit more than they did. But I just don't think it's going to be necessarily like they're going to score 2-3 more touchdowns than they did last night. So that's kind of my thinking. I think this game is going to be, a little tougher.
Yeah, I gotta say, everybody's got a little bit of you guys got a bit of a beefy score. You think you're expecting some points on the board?
I'm simply viewing it from Ohio State's offense and defensive line really handled Texas's offensive line and defensive line, and they had the best offensive line in the country. So
That's
I'm
a
looking
great
at
point.
So for me, I'm looking at, again, Notre Dame, tough game against Penn State. We had a tough game against Penn State. We played worse against Penn State than we did last night against Texas. Still won.
Right.
I think they are an outmatched team. Notre Dame is concocting plays and formations to really throw Ohio State through a loop, because Ohio State was shooting themselves in the foot as often as they could last night. And it still felt like Texas was just trying to stay in it.
Oh yeah.
We were letting them stay in that game, it felt like, for a
Totally.
lot of the time. And that's Texas. This was
Right.
a team that throughout the whole year, Texas made it as far as everybody thought week one. They're like, they're going to be in it. They might be the national champion. That's what people were saying at the start of the year. They were saying that about us. Notre Dame is a good team. My bias is simply Notre Dame's an independent school. I do hold that against them.
Yeah.
I do hold that
They
against
did
them.
play Army and Navy this year.
We would hose Army and Navy. And I agree with you. They are good teams, and they had good years, Army and Navy. But I would look at Army and Navy and be like, yeah, Ohio State, we'd walk through them.
Yeah.
We would walk
through them.
you know, and Notre Dame should walk through them. Like, I'm looking at, like, but what else? Like, Oregon, we've lost 2 games. Michigan, complete outlier. They will look back at the annals of history and be like, how the fuck did that happen?
Right.
You lose to Oregon by 1 point, then you hose Oregon. Like, I'm very much looking at this Ohio State team. Like, I don't know what the Michigan loss was, but we are clearly been the more focused and best team in the country. And I'm not saying Notre Dame doesn't. They lost once to Northern Illinois week 2. They've won 13 games in a row. That's crazy impressive. Tennessee, Oregon, Texas. You're the 3rd best team we've played of the 4. And we're playing you for the championship.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm just looking at it like Notre Dame's great. They deserve to be here. They've earned their right to be here. Even through their playoff schedule, they're the 3rd best team we've played. That's the way I see it. That's why I think I'm like, no, I think Ohio State didn't play that clean of a game. I think they're going to play a bit more polished of a game next week.
Oh, sir.
Jeremiah Smith was not a factor in this game.
At all.
And the only reason is because the entire game, Texas was essentially
Focused on him.
focused on him. They did play 2 safeties deep. They were opening up the center of the field because they didn't want that kid to burn him deep like he did against Oregon. So they were making sure that was run out of the play. So what did Ohio State try to do? Start doing. Ran the ball, throw the ball over the middle,
Screens.
screen passes, quick outs. You're not going to hit them with the deep 40-yard pass. Notre Dame's got good defensive backs. That's great. So do we. I don't think your skill position players are better than ours. I don't think your offense and defensive line are better than ours. You have to really, really out-coach Ryan Day. And even when Ryan Day doesn't have that good of a day, he's got how many 5-star athletes on his team as opposed to Notre Dame? That's why I'm like, no, I think this will be a tough one for Notre Dame. If Notre Dame beats Ohio State, I'll come on this show and be like, I ate my words. Out-coached us, outplayed us. But boy, you really got to out-coach and outplay us. You really got to out-coach and outplay us because I think they'd be what, the 3rd or 4th best team in the Big Ten? 3rd. Be above Penn State, below Oregon, below us.
Right.
Which is great. Like, that's great. But you were 3 points better than Penn State in the last seconds of the game. And their quarterback played a horrible game, Drew Aller for Penn State. And you barely beat him. I don't see Will Howard doing that.
No.
I don't see him doing that. With the weapons, kind of offense and the scheme, and our defense, they're playing pissed. They're hungry. The dogs are out, and they don't give a fuck after that Michigan loss.
No.
It's going to be tough. Like, if you're Notre Dame this whole week, how many things can you focus on to stop? You can stop Jeremiah Smith. They're going to hit us underneath. Bunch of us set the box. That kid's going to burn us deep. Then we got to play offense. And then Riley Leonard, I think he's a good quarterback. I do. I think he's a gamey kid. Colin Cowherd compared him to Josh Allen, which I think is fucking ludicrous. But I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's better than Will Howard.
No.
So I think we have the better running backs. I think we have the better quarterback. I think we have the better receivers. I think we got the better O-line, better D-line, and better linebackers. And that's not coming from a biased standpoint. That's coming from, yeah, I'm looking at this team and I'm looking at your team. Got a nice team. This is a different beast. Even when they didn't play that well against Texas, really felt like Texas was just trying to stay in it.
Yes.
The whole way through. It felt like we were just letting you hang around.
Right.
Like Quinn Ewers was running a lot yesterday. And I got to give the kid kudos because he didn't play that bad of a game.
No, he didn't.
But we were all over him the whole game.
Yeah.
You were lucky you were still in that shit. So that's why, for my score, why you say beefy, it's like Texas made it seemed really tough to stop us because a lot of like Travion Henderson punching a dude and getting 15 yards back. We were driving. That could have been 7 more points. Like right away. All of a sudden, it's like the Oregon game. We're down 14-0 in the first. What the fuck
you
did we
know
do?
what? That was a very common experience last night where it was just so many times you'd hear, like, there was that guy behind you. It was just like, wait, why are we 20 yards back again? It's
No,
like,
we didn't play
again.
it.
It just kept happening. We're just like on a momentum. We're on a roll. And wait, what? We're back 20 yards?
That's what I mean. I'm like, we didn't play a clean game. And it felt like they were just, come on, stay in it. Stay in it. We were letting that happen. Unintentionally, but we were letting that happen.
Totally.
Notre Dame's going to need that to happen a lot, in my opinion, for them to stay in this game.
Hang in.
Just to hang in this game. You could win it, sure. If we do that a lot, you know, it's like
They're
say
coming
Will
in hungry. Like
if Will
you said.
Howard goes out there and has a game like Drew Aller, sure, you could win this game. He goes out there and plays like he did last night. Good luck.
Right.
Like, good luck, man.
Dude, I wish I had it. I would have had to probably scour Twitter for it. But the fact that he's got a ball, like a golf ball on the back of his hand.
Did they ever say what that was?
No, I mean, well, how would we know? We weren't really.
I think
we couldn't hear it.
I think it was a pop blood vessel.
Dude, all I know is he went in at halftime and they probably just took a hammer or just put it up and just
No, they put a syringe in that and leaked it out.
I would hope.
Like, honestly, they put a syringe in that thing and just sucked
the
pus. Oh, the pus and blood. Ooh, yeah. Get back out there, Will.
Thanks for that, Will.
Get out there, Will. We got a championship game to get to. No.
And he delivered, even with a golf ball in the back of his hand.
I like this game you set up for us. This is a fun one. I like trying to guess the scores of games.
Yeah, this will be good.
Speaking of guessing scores of games, Antonio Brown, he guessed this score for the Notre Dame Penn State game was going to be Notre Dame win 27-23. And it was 27-24.
Wow.
I know. It's pretty good.
AV's good.
Yeah.
I got to say, I would love, if I didn't have to worry about getting in trouble, doing a segment on just what a turnaround for Antonio Brown, who is somebody that, like, especially at the beginning of this podcast, the Rethink Tank podcast, totally different channel. I keep forgetting that. But
same, but
diff. The beginning of that show, we would talk about, it was like almost every week, another episode of this dude crashing out and doing crazy shit and getting arrested and, walking off the football field. And it's just like, somebody get control of this guy. He really did get a handle on himself, and he's probably one of the funniest people on the internet.
Well, I feel like he had to have a self-revelation to be like, I gotta change up my business because I'm not playing football anymore and I can't work an actual job.
Yeah. So what am I gonna do? The Cracker Awards.
And you know what? It's probably an honor to win one.
I would. Oh my God! If I were to ever win Cracker of the Year, it would truly be an honor.
It would replace the monkey.
Yes. All right. Let's pivot from the NCAA to the NFL. We got a lot of NFL football coming at you today. And again, we really want to squeak it out so you could join us for the parlay picks because football's going to be kicking off here soon.
No, it's not till 4:30.
Oh, good.
It's only an afternoon.
Still, I want them to play. Damn it.
2 games.
All right. So, first, everybody on Twitter was going crazy, going how this no-look pass by Bryce Young. I think this is the first Steph Curry in football. I mean, that is a pretty cool money shot. You got to give that.
Yeah, it's a good play. It's a good throw.
Yeah, but then guess what? The internet's like, Lamar Jackson's been doing that casually forever. This is him doing it that same day against the Browns.
I remember.
Dude, lovely. I
thought we were gonna win that game.
Oh, you see the score? Did you now?
I was hopeful. I thought Bailey Zappi would
still
get him.
Plenty of a whole half to come at you. We could turn it around with an entire half to go. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. I mean, what a cool play. That's just, hey, you know what?
Pretty neat.
Speaking of great quarterbacks, and You'll love this. This is one of your favorites.
Aaron, Ian Rappaport said this morning, people close to him I know are preparing for the fact that this could be, in fact, be his last game in the NFL. What is your reaction to that?
People say they were close to me?
Yeah, people that Ian talked to, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a relationship with Ian. I'm not sure who does in my circle, but it's probably nobody that's talked to me in the last short while. No offense to Ian, of course.
That literally is a quote. He didn't intentionally do it, but that's a quote right out of God damn, what is the name of that movie? Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that is in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, he's like, someone brings it up, and it's like Ben Stiller's character.
Yeah, people love me.
People said they were close to me. Ouch.
Well,
Hey,
speaking
good for
of
Aaron. Please retire, for the love of God.
speaking of NFL heartaches and really just fantasy football tragedies, as you may have recalled from past episodes, I was plagued this season. Definitely.
I know where this
did it
is
to
going.
myself
Oh
because
my God.
I chose for my first pick of my fantasy football draft, Tyreek Hill. First off, this is the offense on the field.
Has his fourth of the day right here.
That's yeah. You caught that right. That's Waddle turning on, hey, Cheetah. That's the nickname because he's such a good player. You know, he's like a cheetah. Hey, Cheetah, are you done? Oh, what does that mean? Because literally following this play or a couple plays later, Tua in this offensive series throws an interception. Bro just walks off. Bro just walks off the field.
So Antonio Brown 2.0.
Straight up. Unbelievable. Total class act. So glad I invested my entire season's future into him. This is what he had to say after the game.
This is my first time I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. You know, so
I'm out, bro.
Playing here, but
I mean, you thinking about leaving here?
if it is, hey, it gets.
I'm out, bruh. And don't forget what kind of seasoned the theme of this season. Wow, I meant like season, like garnishing, spices. But the thing that spiced up this season is we kicked it off with the dude getting arrested on his way to a football game because, class act. And he's sitting here giving up on his team. Following some of the themes of our past episodes, Tyreek Hill should call up Caleb Williams because I think Caleb Williams would be incredibly curious to find out how my dog is coping with not making it in the playoffs because I'm just not used to losing. So I think I can see why the fabric of the team can start to unravel when this is the glue that holds it all together. I think the goofiness and quirky nerdiness of McDaniels works when you're rolling. When there's momentum and you're hot, we can fuck with it. But the second when you get nitty gritty, angry, and tough, you can't look at some squirrely dude you could snap over your knee and be like, yeah, this guy gives me strength.
Tyreek Hill moments ago indicated he wants out from the organization. How do you react to that? And do you want Tyreek back?
I think in regard to things that are stated, I guess it would be secondhand. For me, I hadn't heard that, but just in general, emotions are high, especially after a game like that. But I think that there will be conversations that will be direct in the next. Couple days, which is kind of the process of the end of season meetings. And, I think, obviously there's a lot of power in having a
today, Junior
team that wants to and wants to play together and
still going.
I know.
for a common goal. So that's inherent, but I'm not going to put too much weight on secondhand post game disappointment statements, and we'll see how the next couple of days progress with those conversations with.
It's not really secondhand when it's on video.
Are you going to say this guy doesn't fuel strength into your team?
That's a lot of words. Let me drink them down.
Shove it down with some brown.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, okay, there's two sides to this coin. Do I get it? If you're a high-end competitor and you want to win, and you're seeing the administration, the head coaching, some of the staffing. I mean, literally, some of your players are concussed every other week. Like, I get wanting to kind of skip out, move on, and get another opportunity somewhere else. But we had another conversation like this about Myles Garrett. It's like, we wasted this guy's prime. Let him go get his. But there's a way of doing it.
It's not even just a way of doing it, not to cut you off, but like, again, we're talking about Miami Dolphins. And like you said, I haven't made the playoffs. This is the first time in my whole career. And you just walk off the field. Bro, come to the fucking Browns. We don't even have our people do that.
Yeah.
Literally. I've never seen a Browns player do that. Never
That's
seen a Browns
what I mean.
player do it. Even
Good point.
Funny enough, even Deshaun didn't do that.
Instead, they
He
just
didn't.
have their
He
dad
got
tweet.
hurt. Like, I'll give him that pass. He was on the field, and then we had to literally cart him off the field.
Wow.
You
That's a strong point. What were you saying, Doug? Sorry.
No,
I wanna get-
yeah, our players don't walk off the field. They just instead have their parents tweet stuff for them. That's what happens to our players.
Now I'm sad.
Yeah, that ruined it, didn't it?
Yeah. Hey, that prick was on the Dolphins
Yeah.
this year.
And he didn't walk off.
No tweets either. Unbelievable. Doug, kudos. That was perfectly timed. But, like, honestly, going off what Doug said, though, we have dysfunction. It's between the parents. Like, we're a CYO football. Like, Jesus Christ, at least the guy still stayed on the field.
And his homie Jarvis stayed on the field.
It's one of those. It's like, you look at Tyreek Hill. Funny. Listen, I love you. I love you, brother. I don't know why you're shocked he quit on his team in week 18. He quit on your fantasy team in week 1. Okay? So I don't know why you're looking at him like, I can't believe he did it. Like,
dude, he
now
crippled my whole year.
How am I going to recover from this? So it's just such an entitled thing in a league where you have to literally earn every inch. That's the name of the game. That famous Al Pacino speech in Any Given Sunday. Claw for that inch. That's the league. That's the NFL. You didn't make the playoff. You were on the Chiefs, dickhead. You wanted off the Chiefs, dickhead. And now this offseason, you're going to want back on the Chiefs, dickhead. Don't kid yourself. He will, in the offseason, be like, man, I love it. Bring me home, Kansas City. You know you want me. You want me, Kansas City. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but like.
I do.
That's what he's going to do. And if I'm Kansas City, who's the favorite, you've only lost 2 games all year and you didn't play your starters in one of them. No, thank you, dickhead. Go somewhere else. Like, it's so bizarre. Like,
oh no, it's not bizarre. It's trash. And it's we can't sit here and be like, oh my God. Like if you walked up on an eaten apple core, an empty can of tuna and a crumpled up piece of paper, and you walked up and you're like, oh my God, is that trash? It's like, dude, why are you surprised the trash is trash? Like, I'm sorry, that was kind of the major frustration with the dude getting arrested on the way to his work. Like, guess what? You and I work together. If either of us got arrested on our way to work, that's not just something I could show up and play that day. Yeah. Like, I don't get to just walk in and be like, yo, what's up, boss? I'm ready to start. Hey. They'd be like, oh, you thought you get to walk in your office. No, we got to talk before you even get to enter there again. And I probably won't be.
Hey, all I know is this Scotty Scheffler did the same thing, and he went out there and won the PGA Championship. So
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Wait, hold on. What is a key difference? One was wrongfully detained, and how did he let himself wrongfully be detained?
Jumpsuit.
Okay, yeah, sure. You're gonna be wrong about this, but all right. And it'll work
He
itself
didn't
out.
even play
It's
the "Do you know who I am" card. He's just like,
yes. Like, do you get how but then they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this keeps happening to us. Like, it's like I keep pounding my head against the wall, and then I got a migraine, and I'm like, I can't see straight.
Could you?
It's like, but please keep smashing your head against the wall and being shocked you're not getting a different result from these police officers.
I mean, could you just imagine being like that, behaving like that, and then being the asshole that drafts him in fantasy football? I mean, my God.
Yeah, what an idiot. Who would do that?
Hold up. First off, that happened post the dumbest decision I've ever made by drafting him, okay?
Then I learned a lot about him.
Can we agree that projection only applies to next season? Whoever picks this guy up next year deserves all.
We're all
of it.
going to be in the same room, and someone's going to draft him and be like, "You idiots! Do you know what this man did?"
We literally will all look at each other during that draft and be like, really?
we know who it is.
Dude, he is going to somehow end up back on the Chiefs, and you're going to be like, "Still don't trust him." Don't trust him.
All right, so we got to review this next week's season or series of games.
Super Wild Card Sunday.
Today,
That's what it
tomorrow,
is, baby.
and Monday. But before we dive into that, there's been a little bit of news. I don't know if you saw about a change in venue. So,
oh yeah, I heard about that.
The wild card game on Monday was supposed to be played at SoFi Stadium in California, and they're moving the Rams and the Vikings game to Glendale, Arizona because of the fires. But wow, moving the stadium sponsored by the company that canceled the fire insurance for all of the people whose homes are currently burning. Huh, nice.
You people just can't appreciate anything. I'm just joking. That's fucked up. I got out myself. That's like something you're gonna find out. Like they hid that comment. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, you didn't want that to be at the top of the list.
We found it.
All jokes aside, wishing the best for the people out there, though.
Sincerely,
before we get into
it
the
is
games, yes.
scary and dude, it's purposeful.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going to talk.
No,
about it
we'll talk about that
These
Tuesday.
people will, you know how they be.
But regardless,
censoring.
Thoughts and prayers
Yes.
and safety for everyone out there.
Yep, yes, and yes. So that's just an interesting tidbit I thought for as we talk about the games coming up this
You
week.
did set us up for that, though, to talk about it because you know you're like, oh, they changed venue. Look at this comment I found.
Whoop. I just thought it was a good one. All right, so first game of the day, 4:30. It's the Texans versus the Chargers. I'm expecting J.K. Dobbins to make a performance. I don't think Houston's got a whole lot of momentum. Here, you know what? I say we actually – okay, and here's another one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Some poor prick is doing 3 ices next week.
Wait, we could do it.
No,
each
we're
week.
not. No. 2's good. We're good at 2. This is just for funsies.
No. I was going to say at the end of it, this is like when the Super Bowl comes, the day of the Super Bowl, whoever had the most right.
Oh, whoever had
the least right has to drink.
Whoever had the best record.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So there's going to be me, Will, and Dougie Fresh. Okay.
That's me.
AWD. You just wrote down AWD.
What?
Like our initials, AWD, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like oil. Like
to me, it
car
sounds like
oil.
root beer.
Yep.
So, Los Angeles versus Houston. I really do think the Chargers got to win this.
Yeah, so do I. Honestly.
So
I'm also going LA.
LA does a great job
I
at
have a
committing
feeling we're all going to
turnovers.
choose the same teams for most of these.
I don't think so. Duh.
I think the first round we're going to be pretty similar.
Maybe.
I do think the first
Maybe.
round.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
But it's like in the later rounds. But I do think the Chargers defense causes a lot of problems for offenses, particularly in turnovers. I think they're like top 3 in like turnover differential.
I think you might be right. I tried closing some of these pictures down, and all I got was closing the parlay pick I needed to show everybody. All right. So next game is going to be Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I think it's got to be the Ravens.
Yeah,
Ravens,
Baltimore.
baby. MVP.
Well, that's a bummer. I was really thinking somebody.
Dog, you're giving MVP to Lamar.
I got to tell you, the
I think
Steelers.
he should, man. His record, I mean, the 4,000 passing, 900 rushing, that is.
He's got a great argument.
Okay, can we agree? Steelers, the Ravens are the better team. They've got the better roster. They've got the better offense. Their defense are going to hold up well. However, can we not ignore the Steelers right now? I mean, the Steelers have held out to be one hell of a force all year and have just lost a couple games to where they're not getting the respect they deserve, and they're not looked at as the dominant force they really are.
Pittsburgh is always going to have the respect because Pittsburgh always is in the playoffs, and they have a history of being a well-run organization. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a tighter game than it was the last time. I think, Pittsburgh won the first matchup. Baltimore won the second matchup pretty handedly. I think it's going to be a tighter matchup for sure. I just think Baltimore is going to have the edge. I think Baltimore does have the edge regardless, but I don't think it's going to be as honestly, I think it's like a 9.5 or 10.5 point favorite. Baltimore is. I would take Pittsburgh on the points in the spread.
Well,
like if that was the bet, I would take like Pittsburgh plus 9.5 because I think that's where the line's at.
Yeah.
So I would take Pittsburgh 9.5.
Okay.
If I was a betting man, but
looking into tomorrow, I already wrote down Buffalo for all three of us because that's a clear victory early in the morning. So wake up and see a good game for Buffalo. Just keep it.
I'm not expecting
loose.
much out of a rookie in his first ever playoff game. I just think it's a kudos for them.
But you know what? Speaking of which, I'm glad you bring that up. One of the things I was going to discuss and kind of let fall by the wayside, there are so many records that Bo Nix has set. I mean, the kid's had
he's had a great
an
year.
amazing rookie season. Record for the highest completion percentage in the franchise history with 89.7%. One of 2 rookie quarterbacks in NFL history to have 10 plus wins, 30 plus total TDs, and 4,000 plus total yards in the season. Most games with 2 plus passing TDs and 0 interceptions as a rookie in NFL history. 18 touchdowns at home, most by a rookie in NFL history. 3rd most completions of any quarterback in NFL history. 2nd most touchdown passes for a rookie in NFL history. 5th rookie in NFL history with 3,500 plus passing yards and 25 plus touchdowns. This guy had a momentous opening season. And
he really did.
Can we agree Denver was deflating and
shit a year
Russell
ago today
was going down with him.
Yep.
And Russell abandoned ship, turns his career around, because I totally was of the belief he needs to hang up the cleats and call it a day. He turns around his career and proves to us he belongs in this league for at least at the interim period. Then Denver is left, I felt, even more bottomless. And they filled that hole so well that they have put themselves right back in the playoffs. And you know what? They're not going to be ignored tomorrow. Don't forget that Cincinnati game. And I wanted to say, this is as if Buffalo was playing Cincinnati. And if we were to be having that conversation, I get it. Different tools. We would be talking about Jamar Chase. We'd be talking about Burrows. I get it. Different tools. But at the same time, they went into that was a tight game to the bitter end. Didn't it go to overtime? Like you're looking at a tight game. Buffalo is they're not going to be able to just kind of walk through it. They're going to be polished as they are, but if they're not, they're going to have somebody itching to rip it out of their hands.
I think Buffalo's going to handle them pretty well. It's nothing against Denver. Denver, Bo Nix. I remember in the first show this year, I said I think Jaden Daniels will be Offensive Rookie of the Year, and dark horse is Bo Nix. Funny enough, both of them have had 2 great years. I just don't know. It's rookie in his first playoff game, and I'm going to go with the vet that's been in the playoffs a bunch. Kudos to Denver. You know, like you brought up the Russell thing, and it's like it's funny that it worked out for the both of them. It was the complete opposite of what Cleveland did.
Right.
You know, we got rid of our guy. He went on to do his own thing, do pretty well. We brought in another guy. We thought we'd be like how Denver is afterwards. Russ, good luck wherever you go. Fuck off. He went and did his thing. Bo Nix showed up, and that was who Sean Payton wanted. So it worked out perfectly for him, which I thought it would because, like, I mean, Bo Nix is like already like 24, 25. You can tell he's a mature kid, played a lot of football. But, yeah, I just think Buffalo, they got the experience edge.
Oh,
And
yeah, I think they're the team to beat. You're looking at a championship team. Moving on to the Eagles and the Packers. Philly is the better team, but dude, Packers are strong.
Packers have been like Pittsburgh this last month. They've just been a struggling team, and I don't see them figuring it out in first week of the playoffs. They've had a great year.
Who you picking?
I also am going with Philly.
Yeah. It's nothing against Green Bay. They've had a great year. Jordan Love's been a little banged up in these most recent weeks, but it's kind of like the Pittsburgh thing. It's like you've had a rough month going into the playoffs, and I don't see week 1 of the playoffs you figuring it out against a good team.
Yeah, I'm going with Philly too. I again, I don't think that could be an upset, but betting man, I'm going with the Eagles. Wrapping up Sunday evening with the Buccaneers and the Commanders. I'm going to get honestly, this is a really tough game. And I want it to be the Buccaneers. I think it can be the Buccaneers. Commanders are a great team right now.
You know who I'm picking, but I have my reason, but it's not.
What are your reasons?
My reason is again, it's the rookie quarterback thing. I'm going to go with experience. Baker, he's played in 4 playoff games, and he's 2-2. He's played well though in all 4 games. He hasn't had like a dud playoff game. No, that's the funny thing when we talk about like Lamar. Like Josh plays very well in the playoffs. Lamar will have a dud in the playoffs. You don't quite know what you're going to get from Lamar. But Baker's played well in the playoffs, but I'm going to give him the edge there. I think they have a lot of experience. Tampa Bay is one of 3 teams that's been in the playoffs for the last 5 years. The Chiefs and the Bills have been in the playoffs the last 5 years. So I'm going to give them the experience edge, and I'm giving Buffalo.
I got to tell you, this one was not as easy for me. I really am torn because I do think the Commanders have shown
they're a good team.
The back half of their season is an upward trend.
Yep.
They are not stagnant. They are not, going backwards. They are continuously growing each week. Like you said, young quarterback, but Patrick Mahomes was a rookie quarterback, and he dominated to the end.
He was in his second year. But, again, it was his first year starting where he made the playoffs, but it wasn't until his, second year. Because Alex Smith was the starter.
Sure. Baker took us to the playoffs.
In, his third year. I'm talking like a true rookie. Like, you started first game of your NFL career as a starter. I'm looking at Jaden Daniels as Bo Nix and be like, you haven't even played a full season or been in the league a full season. That's where I'm giving that, experience. That's where I'm differentiating.
Listen, I completely agree with you that
that's just my reasoning. I'm not saying your reasoning is wrong.
I agree. Josh Allen and Baker have significant experience in this role. To me, that's a piece. And we've shown through multiple seasons and multiple conversations reflecting on this show, the quarterback is a huge pivotal piece to a team. But I think there's so many other variables across either team's roster. All right, you've got Mike Evans back. Mike Evans has been meeting his expectations. I think the Commanders might have a better defense.
No, I agree. No,
I look at the Commanders and I go, you've got an offense that's going to keep up. You're not going. What you need to do is outperform them. What you're not going to have a problem with at all is keeping up.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time making it just a clean cut. I think it's the Buccaneers, but I look at the organization more than I look at even the team when I say they've been here before. Like Baker's been here before, sure, but I think the Buccaneers have shown since the Tom Brady regime, right?
Yeah.
They were a solid team. They bring in Tom. Now that guy helps bring in the right staffing to build a franchise. They're there.
Yeah.
I don't see them getting knocked out the first round. That's the only thing that really makes it hard for me to pick the Commanders, because I think the Commanders got a lot of other pieces around their quarterback that make me feel like they could walk it.
No, I agree. And like I said, I always, it's me. It always
Right.
looks like I'm strictly going
No,
for
no,
Baker,
no,
but my reasoning is the same as yours. Like I said, Tampa is one of 3 teams in the NFL that's been in the playoffs 5 years consecutively. It's not just Baker that has experience. It's the organization. It's the people
Totally.
from first person in the door to the last person out. All of them been here, done
Been
this.
here.
And I look at Washington kind of like how I look at Denver. It's like, you guys are a great young team. You're new to this. And I think maybe the lights might be a little too bright as the game gets into the 3rd and 4th quarter. Whereas I look at Tampa as like a full team thing. They're calmer, been here, like I look at like Tampa's first game in the playoffs last year against Philadelphia, the reigning NFC champs, and just handled them. It's like, this is a team that's been in the playoffs. They're used to this atmosphere. I don't think this is a blowout game by any means. I think this is a dog
This
fight
one,
game.
it's going to be a great game. It is a great game to end the evening.
Right,
Like
but
that. That's why it's the Sunday night game.
I'm simply just giving that experience edge
I
as that
agree.
organization to Tampa Bay.
Oh, no, I totally agree. And I think you killing Native American history is also an element in this. So,
They're trying to bring it back though.
that is
They are fighting to bring it
close.
back. They're fighting to bring it back.
If
So,
only Cleveland would do the same.
Hey, let the dominoes fall. They come in order.
All it takes is one.
They'll go first like they did. We'll come back.
Mhm.
Don't you worry. We're not giving up, Doug.
Hey,
But I'm
Doug,
also
who's
going
Doug picking?
Tampa.
Doug didn't pick
Going Tampa.
Tampa. All right.
Shocked.
So we're all.
Doug's not going to pick anything different if you and I are the same.
No,
only
I,
variance-
I already know who I want to pick for these, and I told you I had a feeling they would all be the same.
Hoop, hoop, Doug, hoop,
And so did
Doug.
I. I was like, it's the first round. You're probably going to go with like
yeah,
a lot of favorites.
This is going to be.
It won't be until like week 2 and 3 where it's like, I don't know. All of a sudden, Minnesota's playing the Lions again. You're
right,
like,
or the
I don't
Chiefs,
know.
or
Yeah.
right. It's going to get all right. So, last game of the week, Monday. I moved to Arizona. I'm looking at the Vikings.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings too, but that's tough.
Oh my god, because I'm also going with the Vikings.
For me, the Rams are such an odd team. They're such an odd team. They are such a slow first half and a great second half team.
Can I tell you what though? Go finish
For
your
me,
thought.
Minnesota's defense doesn't get talked about enough because they scored a ton
Yeah.
of points. But that Brian Flores is such a good defensive coordinator. Like, he is such a good defensive coordinator. And I'm going to give, and I look at Darnold's loss, which wasn't which was a bad loss to the Lions last week, as his first playoff game ever. He's never been in the postseason. So I'm viewing it for him like, hey man, that was your first playoff game. You played the best team in the NFC. They've been it all year. Now you get to play the Rams. Sure, you're now in Arizona. I guess that's a home field game for them. But I think he got like that playoff jitters out of the way last week, because last week was a playoff game essentially. You just know you're playing again next week. You're either playing or you get a week off. But you're gonna have this. That felt like that was a playoff game last week, regardless how it was. So I'm gonna say he got the jitters out. That first week jitters out for him, and the Rams are just odd. They're just odd. I don't know. Like I can't believe they're in the playoffs. Honestly,
Well,
like I never
see-
thought of them as a playoff team.
So you
for
are
so
going
long.
with the Vikings?
Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings.
So
but, like,
my thing is going to be the reasoning I'm going with the Vikings more than anything. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw how overly passionately angry the Vikings were that they lost their seeding spot.
yeah,
Like this last game put such a fire in them
Mhm.
simply because of overseeding. Like imagine you're good. You could have allowed yourself to walk into this game with comfort and complacency, even though you're playing the Lions and it's a team where it's like this is like a mirror of or a foreshadowing of a Super Bowl contention or division championship.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be huge. And you did not lose. It wasn't an easy win for the Lions. It wasn't like they got blown out.
Wait, last week?
Yeah.
It was a blowout. They blew them out. It was like 31-9. They blew them out. It was tight for a while, but then they blew them out.
Right.
Gibbs
But
just
even
dominated.
And Darnold, here's the thing. It wasn't like a blowout. Darnold just didn't have a good game. Darnold was off. Darnold looked a bit skittish, but like I said, for me, I'm like, I think he got those jitters out of the way because you did play an even team, but Darnold didn't look good. Darnold kind of, like people kind of were commenting. They're like, kind of look like the Jets Darnold. And it's like,
hold on. I'm not even going to make the argument that they looked good, but I definitely don't think they looked like a team that doesn't belong to be competing with, like, just like the Buckeyes with Oregon, right? They didn't look like a team where I can't imagine they show up and wallop the Lions on a comeback tour.
No,
like
it was just a bad Sunday or Monday.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's exactly.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't think it's as reflexive. And I know that to me, the bigger point is they're coming in with a fire.
Yeah.
And the benefit to them is they're taking that fire against the Rams, which is a very beatable team for them, which will only provide them with momentum to dominate the tougher teams like the Lions, which they have to come.
No, I just, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I just think it was a bad Sunday or Monday when they played. And I just think you're focused.
Oh, yeah.
But it's good. It's good that you play a team like that in your last week. And it's like, all right, hey, lock in. Now it's do or die.
Right.
We got away with a loss there. Probably seeing them in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Like you said, lock in. So we got to get to our Vikings. You already said that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're good.
That's why I said, yeah, we're all picking the same.
Good call, Doug.
Oh, well, it was the same record. I love that. I love that for us.
To start. Yeah. To start. So our parlay picks last week were trash. We were big old losers. And I went
Not all of us.
Well, Will was a winner. He brought it back with J.K. Dobbins. And I'm going to keep that momentum going into this next week. But Doug and I were a loser, and Doug's going to have to come in here and join us.
Have fun, Dougie.
I already opened mine.
That's fine.
Oh, how cute. This is the third week in a row. The pain just doesn't stop. But we do this so we can bring home victories for you. This is to compel us and motivate us to be a victor on your behalf. We want to make you money.
Come on, man. Beat him. Come back, Alex. Alex, I'm gonna give you credit, man. For after 3 weeks, I think you got some better technique now.
Oh, yeah. He's improved. He's definitely improving.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You definitely
Dougie Doug.
Your ours aren't
What's up,
as
Ricky?
watered.
Whoa. Ha. So if it isn't clear enough, that's so miserable and yeah, just miserable.
You're not crying as bad this week, though.
Yeah, true. Not tearing as bad. I think my body's been used to battery poison on a weekend.
All that sugar.
basis.
Next year we could do 4 Locos.
Original formula too.
That took you a second. Like you heard it and you were like, huh.
No.
I'd like to be able to drive home.
You win on that?
I'd like to be able to drive home. So no, I'm good on 4 Locos.
Oh, and we can't lose a Doug, so I guess it's out. So again, motivation to bring you a W each weekend. Join us on this week's parlay because I think this one's definitely going to deliver. My choice, I'm stealing what works for Will because it's worked for me in the past as well. But I'm going with the J.K. Dobbins. Holy cow, that sugar is just like coating my mouth.
Yeah.
But I'm going with J.K. Dobbins, 70-plus yards. Doug, I really like this pick because it's worked for me a few times in the past as well, and I think they're going to need it against the Steelers. It's going to show its face. Lamar Jackson with 40-plus rushing yards. And Will, he had some other ones that he was looking at for tomorrow or Monday, but he wanted to get a pick so that because of where Doug and I are at, so you could win today and maybe keep the momentum going on through the weekend. So he was looking at the Buffalo game, and
actually, before you move on from that, if we win this today, do you want to put out another one? Just like put out like a tweet?
Yeah, we'll probably put one out for tomorrow if we could keep the momentum rolling.
If we hit this, if all three of us hit in our chat, we'll each put what we're picking for tomorrow.
Definitely.
So
Why do I think
Buffalo.
I'm confident in Will's pick too? Because I do think, looking again at the Broncos and the Buffalo Bills, you're going to have Buffalo get a high score probably early on. And now what does the game turn into? Kill the clock. So get the running back out there and shoot
Even
away.
before it like gets out of hand for them. But it's like, I think, going to have to move the ball. They're more of a rushing team than they've been in recent years. Outside of Josh rushing.
$5 pays out 38. I mean, come on.
No,
now.
we picked some good odds here.
Yeah, so come on in, dive in and join us because, again, the whole purpose is to get you dubs with us. We go live every Sunday, except for today, to do our live show. The whole purpose is to get you excited and ready for your football weekend. So I hope you dominated your fantasy friends. I was at the lowest rung of the bracket, but just won all the way to the top. So for the losers in the losers league, I did win out. So I'm happy.
Thanks to Tyreek, man. He really put in the numbers.
No, actually, he was on the bench. Kept that guy right where he belonged.
Oh, sorry, Baker.
Yeah, Baker took me to the end. Now that I'll give you. So I hope you enjoy a fun weekend of football. Get excited because the Buckeyes are going to the championship. That's going to make next week a little wonky. So hang tight and we'll let you know when you can plan to see us. If not, we may have next weekend off and we'll be seeing you the following week. But let's go Buckeyes. OH.
I-O.
That's right. And we'll get you next week. Peace.